African gospel music is becoming popular by the minute, with gospel music reaching up to millions of views every month. It leaves many of you who are watching curious to find out its unique story and how it became what it is today. The arrival of Christian music was brought to Nigeria by Portuguese Catholic Christian missionaries who traveled to Warri and Benin during the slave era, spanning from the 14th to the 18th centuries. These missionaries brought the teachings of the Church of England to the slaves and their owners. As they attended church with their slave owners together, the slaves learned the same hymns and songs of the Church of England. Yet they were determined to keep their own cultural traditions and styles alive, in effort to reconcile their heritage with their newfound religion, Christianity, giving birth to African gospel. The growth of African gospel music in Nigeria brought new heights in 1857 with the arrival of a church missionary society, which introduced the choral music of the Anglican Church, which at the time was a departure of music occasionally sung in churches by one person or a choir-led hymns that did not involve the entire congregation. This style gained popularity as early influences such as Reverend Josiah Ransom Kuti, a Nigerian composer who first experimented blending the choral music with the Nigerian language Yoruba. He got his work well received and well known that he was invited to England to record his album in 1922. Additionally, Akai Harcourt White, also a Nigerian composer, first created Nigerian gospel praise and worship songs in the Igbo language, with compositions of over 200. And though he did not receive fame as a reverend, his music is still recorded and remains popular in African churches today. The 1970s and 80s saw many influencers such as well-known American songwriter Johnny Cash and Jim Reeves, a country singer-songwriter, who are honored for making an impact to the genre by inspiring African gospel musicians with their music. Additionally, it was the time when the musician band Carol revolutionized the genre at the time, when the Pentecostal movement was sweeping the world. The similar group was two brothers from Africa called Lazarus and Emmanuel, whose album involved a variety of collaborations and met with great success. It wasn't until the year 2000 and the rise of the internet that African gospel gained international recognition in more countries around the globe. The rise of a platform, YouTube, allowed African artists such as Taya Bello, Nikki Leo, Lan Trip, to share their music with a global audience, reaching millions of views and downloads. Today, it supports a thriving music industry that employs thousands of artists. As time goes on, it is likely that over time this music style will continue to change and adapt to meet the needs of the African people.